Hello, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to look at a couple of drills for scapular stability, mobility, and looking at trigger points, how I would actually use a series of drills that are really aiming at improving scapular function to get rid of shoulder pain. And during this video I actually have a shoulder impingement, which I've had on and off a few times, and just from overtraining a bit I've made it come back. What I was just doing there was, if I just go back for a minute, this is a shoulder impingement test. Alright, so when you're placing your hand like I've got shown here, what it's doing is it's putting this supraspinatus tendon in a very closed off position. So there's not very much space. There's not very much space at the best of times, but now there's hardly any. And if my scapula is not moving correctly, or everything anatomically is in the poor place, the minute I raise my arm and I get to there, it's going to pinch. All right, and then I'm going to feel pain come down the front of the shoulder here. So you'll feel pain there, but it's actually that supraspinatus getting smashed to pieces. All right, so this little test here is important to do, because then you can go to the good side and you can compare. And you can sort of see how the good side will glide really easily, and there'll be real freedom of movement, no pain at all. And basically throughout your little series of exercises, you're going to use that little test to try and see if what you're doing is working. Now what I'm going to show you here is a simple trigger point release. I'm using a little Posture Pro tool, it's called, but you could use easily a golf ball or a lacrosse ball, a spiky ball, whatever, just something small, something hard. And this is really going to dig into the muscles of teres and infraspinatus. And basically these muscles, these are part of the rotator cuff. They are prone to trigger points and stiffness to try and protect the shoulder, but what that does is it ruins scapular function and creates a multitude of other problems that, just only gets worse. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to break that up, and then I'm going to instantly retest myself, and often you'll find that you'll have an instant freedom of movement. Now this is important because it only happens for a little short time, but this gives me a window where I can come and follow it up with a stability exercise that will improve my scapular function, because now that it's going to be moving better, it has a better chance of succeeding. So this one is one of the drills I was going to show you in this video. And this is a variation of the wall slides, which I'll show you towards the end. The wall slides is often done with two arms, but this one I'm going to do with a single arm. And in this side lying position, it's sort of like putting the scapula in the position of where it would be about to do external rotation, which, if you have a shoulder impingement, it's very painful, or a rotator cuff tear. All right, so all you've got to do is you could rest your arm on a pillow here. I've just got like this little small step. I just want it to sort of be level with your body, as I've got shown there, and then basically from here I'm just sliding it along, making sure my wrist doesn't fall to the floor or the elbow lift up off the platform there. And what's happening is, you can sort of see here, what I'm wanting to happen is my scapula to come around like this. As my arm moves, I want it to really wrap around the rib cage. That's the key, all right? Because once it starts doing that, it starts guiding the humerus up more in a better position, and without it smashing into things and losing its central position within the socket there. So basically the ball staying within the socket. The scapula is the key, and it's often being restricted by trigger points, so even the rhomboids and even pecs and lats sort of internally rotating. You also see how my thumb is pointing up. I don't want my hand to pronate over. You can sort of see it's about to try and pronate over. And that's because there's pain. So you're basically just very, very small movements, all right? And this is, like I said, this is it's a regression of the standard wall slides that we do standing. So sometimes standing's too painful. This is a variation that makes it a little bit easier. So once I've done the stability exercise, then I'm going to try a slightly different one that has in a kneeling position. So I've gone from lying to kneeling, and then I'm going to finish standing. All right, so this kneeling one, I'm going to place my hand on the wall, and again it's only a one arm drill, because remember it's only one arm that I have in pain, the other one's fine. And basically I'm just reaching back behind me and pushing into the wall. And the same sort of scapular motion I'm wanting to really reach around. So if I just pause it here, I'm wanting it to reach around. What I don't want it to do is to come up close to my head, and that's where it'll pinch me again. So I've got to really be aware of how my body moves. So I want that scapula to come around and out, all right? And then I'm just pushing hard into the wall with my hand there, and I just keep rocking back and forth. So I don't want to hold it, I just want to move it. All right. This is a very, very, very regressed Serratus Anterior drill. I got this one actually from Mike Reinald. If you ever follow him, he has some clever stuff to use. So yeah, very, very useful drill, and I just use it in between trigger point release, thoracic mobility at times, depending on the person, what I might use in between. But this might not work for some people, and I might use something else. But the more tools you have in your toolbox, the more likely you are to find something that's going to work and succeed for you. So in my case, I know this works for me, so then I just do a multitude of different ones. So now I'm going to come back and do my test at the very beginning and see if things are starting to improve. And I'll start to feel, oh yeah, that's gliding a lot better. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was at the start. So I'm going to do my trigger point release just to get rid of anything that might have started to come back before I try the standard wall slides drill against the wall, where I'm standing using both arms, and it's vertical, because so far I haven't done anything that's vertical. It's been vertically side lying and vertical kneeling, but not actually standing, which is a big difference with how everything. There's more stability when you're standing up. All right, so far I've reduced the need for stability. Also removed the pelvis, and that is a factor. All right, so now I'm going to go to the wall slides drill against the wall. I'm going to use the one with the foam roller, because there's two versions. There's one where I might just use my hands against the wall. I know for me this one works better than the hands against the wall. All right, because this one has more of a serratus feel about it, because you have to push the roller into the wall, otherwise it would fall down. All right, so there's more of a general push, and you can sort of see this is a good visual of what we want to happen. So I'm wanting my scapula to come out and around. So you can sort of see there's the border there, and I'm wanting them to come and reach around my rib cage and wrap. What I don't want to see is I don't want them to come up and into my ear as such. There needs to be some sort of a shrug at the end. If there's no shrug, it's no good. So you can sort of see there, that's good. If there's no shrug, there's no good. It's no good, and it needs to sort of stay up, and then right at the end it will sort of lower down, and that's when my scapula will come back to normal. So where it's sort of there, and as it moves up, it comes out to there to guide the arm up. All right, so very, very good drill, and it's how you start to regain the mobility of moving overhead, which, if anyone with a shoulder injury will tell you, is the hardest thing to do. And it's a very, very clever drill. And it can help you. So you can sort of see there, it's not like one exercise, it's a series of them that I would use to improve this. And again, this eventually leads into harder things, eventually adding strength and different movements, some single arms, push-ups, things like that. And eventually, once you get your movement back and your strength back, you'll stay on top of it unless you do something stupid. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video, and we'll see you on our next one.